Good morning, everyone. My name is Dua Zafar, your podcast host for the series of Smart Talks by the Lincoln University of Business and Management. Established in 2014, Lincoln University of Business and Management, otherwise known as LUBM, is a leading transnational education partner in the Middle East and the Indian subcontinent. Our reputation is built on affordable, top-tier international programs. Today's episode surrounds ourselves on the topic of current challenges and the future of sustainability. We're delving into the urgent and complex domain of global sustainability challenges and the dynamic future that lies ahead for sustainability. Our journey takes us through the intricate web of issues that currently challenge the health of our planet, from climate change and resource depletion to biodiversity loss and social inequities. But fear not, we will not just stop at unveiling such problems. We'll also be navigating through the innovative solutions, ingenious technologies, and transformative initiatives that are shaping the landscape of sustainability. Through conversations with our leading expert today, we will gain a profound insight into how our action today can forge a sustainable path for generations to come. So buckle up and open your minds as we embark on a quest to understand the present and craft a blueprint for a brighter, more sustainable future. On this note, ladies and gentlemen, it is our privilege and utmost honor to introduce the remarkable Dr. Wesam Al Madhoun, an esteemed guest speaker whose visionary dedication to sustainability is shaping a better world for us all. As a founder of Global Ambassadors of Sustainability, he has embarked on a journey that exemplifies his unwavering commitment to a greener and more equitable world. Dr. Wasam's academic journey is nothing short of impressive. With a PhD in environmental engineering from the University of Science Malaysia, he has gone on to hold fellowships at prestigious institutions like MIT and MGIIT. These experiences have not only enriched his understanding, but equipped him to contribute significantly to the field of sustainability. Beyond academia, Dr. Wasam's contributions have translated into real-world change. Notably, he has been at the forefront of projects funded by USAID, UNICEF, and UNEP, illustrating his tangible impact on global sustainability initiatives. Furthermore, his organization, the Global Ambassadors of Sustainability, has united over 12,500 individuals from 125 countries, creating a global network of changemakers committed to the cause. Dr. Wasam's insights and expertise has been sought after by some of the world's most renowned institutions, including Harvard University, MIT, and IIT, where he has graced the stage as a guest speaker. Moreover, as a co-founder of the Middle East SDGs Academy, he's driving regional sustainability forward with the profound impact. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, join us in extending a warm welcome to Dr. Wesam, a true luminary in the world of sustainability, whose passion and actions are shaping a brighter future for us all. Thank you so much, Dr. Wesam, for joining us here today at LUBM Smart Talks podcast. Let's finally begin. How are you today, Dr. Wesam?
I thank you so much for the nice introduction and for the invitation as well. So I'm doing well. Thank you so much.
Oh, that's wonderful. You are truly an inspiring individual in this field of sustainability. You have, performed greatly, not only in terms of academia, but also being an ecopreneur, an eco-friendly entrepreneur, which is amazing. So, Dr. Wesam, tell us a little bit about yourself and your work as a very well-decorated academic advocate for sustainability. What drove you to this vast discipline, and have you always been interested in contributing to this field?
Yeah, so my interest on sustainability actually started way back since I did my degree on civil engineering, where in one of the courses I studied a chapter about the environmental impact assessment of the projects. So then I decided to do my master's on environmental impact assessment. And why I'm talking about what is the link between environmental assessment and sustainability. So technically speaking, environmental assessment is the first tool of sustainability. So I developed my capacity through my master's, which was on environmental impact assessment. Then, when I did my PhD, I decided to do the research on air pollution and climate change, which are two of the hot issues that facing the humanity. And this is, way back in 2008. And then when I finished my PhD, I work as a lecturer in several universities. So I start teaching those courses where I focus on sustainable development for both degree students and master students. I also taught topics on air pollution, climate change, environmental assessment, and then later on, I wanted to contribute more with my academic background and the network that I established for the last 20 years. And I started doing activities with NGOs to try to reach the community, to try to build the capacity of young generation and raise the awareness of those who are interested, and caring for the environment, interested to develop their capacities on sustainability issues. And that was, marked by the accomplishment of my fellowship at MIT, where I focus on sustainable cities, on low carbon cities.
So, Dr. Wissam, you have launched Global Ambassadors Program, yes?
Yes, true. That was in August 2020.
Well, that's great. That was practically in the prime of the pandemic. So, can you inform us or inform our audience more about this initiative? How can we involve ourselves to contribute to this cause and your organization?
Yeah, as we all faced the pandemic which started in 2019 throughout 2021, and even up to now, we're still talking about the impacts of the COVID-19 and the linkages with the environment, with health, and the economy. So during that time, and with the availability of the online platforms, I was thinking, and I thought to establish a program, to launch an initiative, a nonprofit initiative, with the help and assistance of my colleagues who are the academician in several universities. So I designed a program and training program which aim to develop the capacities of actually, it's all people. It's not only young generation. Anyone who is interested in sustainability, and the program was designed to educate people on the basic concepts of sustainable development, the dimensions of sustainability in terms of economy, environment, and the social aspects, and also including leadership and governance of sustainability. And we launched the program. We conducted several training program, capacity building, and every time we announce about a cycle of training, thousands of people registered to attend those programs. We conducted all programs through virtual platforms. And we continued in between those training programs to conduct workshops, to invite people from industry, from academia, and from NGOs to share their experience with the audience. And the numbers kept increasing up to, as you mentioned in the introduction. Now we are talking about thousands of people from almost every corner in the world. And this is, we continue to do the activities, we continue to engage people, and also we are keeping to promote sustainable development among all sectors. So, in your question, how you mean like students or whoever is interested in sustainability, you are most welcome to join the efforts. You are most welcome to join our activities and to engage in conducting activities, in joining activities, in becoming even like we identify always among the audience who are interested to speak, to share their knowledge. So it's kind of providing a platform for people to get educated, and also if they are interested to contribute and educate people. So it's a platform for exchanging ideas, for sharing knowledge, which is definitely it's the only aim is to educate people, to increase the awareness of people, and to enhance the livelihood of the humanity.
Well, that is wonderful. As previously stated, there are over 12,500 global ambassadors in your program. So that's like a strong, small but mighty army of 12.5K people who are contributing towards the cause. And we are hoping that those numbers just keep skyrocketing because this is what, our modern day challenges require us to do. So on the note of combating these modern day challenges, I see, Dr. Wesam, that you have an academic interest in biodiesel production. Could you inform us and enlighten us about this technology and its future impact?
Yeah, actually, as and everybody is hearing about, the technologies, the green technologies to combat, the environmental challenges, to reduce the emission, the greenhouse gases. So, a lot of research being done on biofuel to be kind of a replacement for the fossil fuels as a mean of reducing the greenhouse gases. There is a lot of efforts globally, and I was part of a few kind of research, especially in Malaysia. But these efforts are still at the early stage, like the biofuel. There is no kind of global example, which convert to be kind of a commercial product to meet the demands of people at the market. It's still at the very early stage of the research and development. We hope things will be more positive in the future, and we can find some kind of support and to the demand of fuel in the market, so that that helps to reduce the greenhouse gases, the emissions, which is basically one of the challenges, not only for climate issues, but it's also a part of the air pollution, which is also kind of a challenge which faces the humanity and cause a lot of health
Yes, I definitely agree with this because there's so many facts and
issues and
statistics
health consequences.
regarding the impact of such greenhouse gases on our health. For starters, the amount of emissions that are produced can cause an array of lung dysfunctions. So, what you're conveying to us is that we have the research teams ongoing, but there's more support and funding required in the R&D, the research and development, and the execution of these great ideas in order to shift our world from being primarily oil based in terms of energy to something that's towards biodiesel.
The challenges is the uh, funding and the support for such research and technologies. And also, we are talking about strengthening the linkages between industry and academia, because without the support from industry, without the acceptance of the industry of products coming from academia, nothing won't work in terms of developing the ideas, converting those ideas to a practical in the community. So those products need to be commercialized, need to be marketed to the community, need to be accepted as a replacement. And this is not only valid for biodiesel, it's valid for most of the bio product. Even in one of the issues like the bioproducts for as a replacement for the pesticides to reduce the usage of chemicals in agriculture for the as for fighting pest in the agriculture. So still those effects and those efforts is still facing some challenges, which is mainly because of the gap between the industry and academia. So this gap needs to be bridged, and the support is needed. And also, there is a need to develop the policies and regulations to ease the flow of these products to the market and to be officially recognized, and also to be allowed to flow in the market so that it got the trust of consumers, and it is becoming to become a replacement for all these chemical products or oil-based products, to be more on the bio technology and the bio aspect, which will be environmentally friendly, it will be health friendly, and it will reduce the burden, the economic burden, and the economic cost of all these challenges, both on health, agriculture, and the the economical cycle and a holistic perspective.
Okay. So since waste management and pollution are significant challenges in urban areas, how can young people encourage sustainable reduction and promote eco-friendly practices in their daily life? Since, there's this need for overconsumption in almost virtually every single aspect of, life, and that is promoted via social media. There's an plethora of marketing that is going on. So how can we advise the youth together, to manage our waste properly and reduce the waste and promote eco-friendly practices?
Yes, it's true. The waste itself is one of the challenges as well. It is creating a lot of issues, specifically when we talk about like plastic, the single-use plastic, which create a lot of environmental concern. It take hundreds of years for those items to be degraded in the environment, and that will create issues to water pollution. And if it is burned, it will also convert to an air pollution, which will affect all aspects of environment and health. So, how we can change that paradigm, change our practice to be environmentally friendly in terms of waste management. So the that should start from changing the way of the style of consumption, because the issue currently, this is at the global scale. It's the challenge started with the unsustainable production and the consumption of people, of the human, and that create a lot of waste. That create a lot of negative impacts on the environment. So it has to start converting our unsustainable production and consumption to be more sustainable consumption and production and consumption. Means we have to be more aware about our choices of products, their impacts on the environment. That should be within our criteria when we buy and purchase products and like products, whether we are talking about food, starting from food, or the personal use items, cloth, or whatever we are consuming. And this is valid not only for young people; it's for all the community. Because if we want to start to create a change, a positive change, all people at all levels should be engaged. The young people, beside that they're changing their patterns of consumption, they can play a role in educating people and increasing awareness. They can be part of the movement of researchers in the in academia, or the movement of practitioners and activists in NGOs to promote those ideas, to link those institutions together, to collaborate together, because we know one of the SDGs, one of the important SDGs, it's the SDG number 17, which is talking about partnership for the goals. So without partnerships between the government, non-government, academia, industries, those collaborations need to be, strengthened, because no one can solve the issues, the environmental issues, alone. So we have to work together. We have to increase our collaboration, and that can be part of the role of the youth, to promote those positive practices, and also to be a bridge between those institutions, so that we can create a real impact on the ground, a positive impact, and change the patterns of our usage, of our consumption, to be more environmental friendly and more sustainable, towards a more sustainable lifestyle.
Definitely. So, Dr. Wesam, what advice would you give to young individuals looking to make a positive impact on sustainable development in the MENA region? And how can they align their efforts with international frameworks like the UN SDGs, as you've previously mentioned, the UN SDG 17 partnership, that it's related to partnership for the goals. So, what advice would you provide us individuals?
For the young people in the region, I think the first step that they have to start with is to educate themselves, is to join training programs, to join capacity building programs. And there is a lot of available courses online for free, virtually, and from recognized organizations and universities. So that is the first step to build their capacity, because if you want to promote, if you want to advocate on environmental issues, on sustainability, in the first place, they have to be equipped with the correct and right knowledge on the topic, so that people will trust your arguments, will trust your statements. So the first step is to be educated through education program, courses, training programs, and there is a lot of platforms for that. The second step, which is start promoting those ideas by being activist in the university, through the community-based organization, NGOs, and through establishing youth clubs, green youth clubs, which will bring people together, and will also help to, build the capacities, and promote the ideas among the young generation, and also for the community. And this is at all levels, whether we are talking about young people in schools, high schools, universities, or even those who are just joined the market. And one of the important aspects as well for the graduates, for the young graduates, when you get enough knowledge, you get the knowledge about sustainability, about environmental challenges, and think how to align those, this knowledge with your field of study, whether you are studying business administration, economy, engineering, or science. So environment is related to every field. Sustainable development is related to every aspects of those academic courses. Then you will be an advocate, an ambassador for sustainability in the market, which will create the real impact on the community. When you think about environment and sustainability in each activity in your office, in your organization, try to make your organization more sustainable. Try to educate people in all aspects of sustainability. Not to think about sustainability as a burden, as an economy burden, while looking into these challenges and convert them as an opportunity. And we have a lot of real examples currently, a lot of success stories about recycling of plastic, recycling of construction waste, recycling of steel, and people are making a lot of money, and that is being done in sophisticated scenarios. I had several success stories about these challenges, how it's converted to economy opportunities, like the case in Palestine. I've seen that in Malaysia. I've seen that in South Korea. So by then, it's not about education only, raising the awareness, but it's also creating an opportunity for people, creating opportunity for graduates, creating opportunity for the community, and by doing that, creating a positive impact for the community, reducing the impacts on the health, reducing the impacts, the negative impacts on agriculture, and reducing also the economical losses and the economical impacts of all these challenges.
Bringing in economical impacts is really important when we're discussing sustainability, since there's this recurring notion that if we're going forward with sustainable practices, we are not making profit. But in the end of the day, it is planet over profit, and yet you could still make profit. Now, that I really, really appreciate the answer that you've provided us, Dr. Wesam. Now, here is something that's on a much serious note. We are seeing a lot of wildfires that are occurring globally. Do you think we can win in this fight against the climate crisis? The clock is ticking, and there are still many people that do not believe in the climate crisis that is ongoing. What do you have to say to such people?
Actually, I'm not thinking that way about this scenario, like whether we are winning or losing. The approach is that, and the numbers stating that every year we are losing 9 million people because of pollution. Pollution in the air is killing 7 million people, and this is according to WHO. And the other 2 million, they are dying because of water and soil pollution. So every year we are losing 9 million people. Economically, there is a lot of studies shows that air pollution alone is costing the humanity every year like 2.9 trillion dollar. So we are losing on health aspects. We have a lot, millions of fatalities. Even if you want to compare that to the catastrophe, the pandemic, so still that is greater in terms of the fatalities. In terms of economy, there is a study by McKinsey compared the loss, the economic loss from COVID-19 that was in 2020, state that they expected the economic loss 8%. And the same study stated that the poor environmental health costing the humanity every year 15% loss. So in terms of fatalities, we are losing millions. In terms of economy, we are losing have to create that shift because we want to save the life of people, because we want to save the national economies of or the global economy. So we have to slow the emissions. We have to slow all these, economical. We have to slow all these negative impacts of the environment, because if we can't achieve 100%, it does not mean that we don't have to start now or we don't have to do anything, right? Even we reach up to the tipping point or we don't reach, we have to start from today, because every single day means that we are losing people, we are losing millions of people every year, and we are losing trillions of dollars each year. So we have to change our, to shift and transform our lifestyle to be more sustainable, because every day will be a success story when we convert to be more sustainable. We will save the resources, we will save the people, we will save the economy. Otherwise, if we keep saying that our efforts won't bring results and we continue our way of living as usual, that will increase the suffering of people, that will increase the losses, and that will increase also the economical losses up to the level if we reach the tipping points where people will get hopeless. And we are seeing the catastrophe now everywhere, so we don't have to ask for more evidence. We already have all the evidences of the catastrophe: wildfires, flooding, storms, hurricanes, and that's again there is a direct and indirect cost of these catastrophe, and the one who pays that everyone in the community, from the government up to the community, up to in the individuals, because that also affecting. We see a lot of statistics on the increasing of the prices of basic stuff for people. So that make the life of people even worse in terms of the economy. So there is an urgent need to change our lifestyle to be more sustainable because that will affect positively all aspects. If we don't do that, we will suffer at all levels.
Dr. Wissam, on the note of changing our lifestyles for the better, if people stop using plastic or find plastic alternatives, as difficult that might be, since nearly virtually most products are packaged with plastic, if they stop consuming it at such large quantities, wouldn't it be futile, since there are companies that produce and plastic waste at way greater volumes than us common people do? So they produce more plastic than we would in our entire lifetime. So if the people alone reduce the plastic consumption, would it still be enough?
Actually, when I'm referring to changing our lifestyle to be more sustainable, it's an integrated approach between the efforts and the regulations of policies of the government and the practices and the consumption of the community. And I'll give you an example about this specific utilization and the consumption of plastic. So I lived in Malaysia for 10 years, and they started to do that gradually. The first thing they introduced, they said, like, when you go to market on, let's say, Friday, there is no free plastic. If you want plastic bags, you need to pay extra money. So you need to pay fees. Then they expand that from 1 day to 2 days. Then they expand that up to 3 days. Then the last step was that the market plastic bag for carrying your goods, you have to bring your own, bag, like the kind of bags that can be utilized for multiple, like the strengthened kind of bags. So either you can buy it from the market or you bring it from your home. And by that way, they almost abandoned the utilization of plastic bags in the markets, in most of the markets. And that was in Malaysia. I seen that in the US. So that can be done. This is the efforts from the markets, the community. And there is an effort from the government as well. You start when you stop banning the production. So that will be more kind of a drastic steps at the consumption, at the marketing level, at the business level. That is being done, and that already proved in several countries. In recent reports, there is a growing kind of businesses who converted and produce biodegradable plastic, and that become the replacement for the traditional plastic, the single-use plastic. So when you start pushing that, when you start introducing a different agenda, people will change the way of the patterns of the industry to meet the demands and the instructions of the government, the policies of the governments, and the demands from the community. And people, they will be kind of creative to find replacement. But if we keep saying that we can do it, we won't have, or we don't have alternative, we will continue with those trying to find reasons. The community will keep continuing with their traditional way of living, which is unsustainable, because that is the comfort zone for them. They don't want to change, and there is a lot of people who are resisting this positive change because it's against their interest, especially when you talk about the economy. But when we talk about the holistic approach, as the policymakers, we have to think about not only the economic development, which is important, but we have to think about how much we are spending, how many people we are losing, how much we are losing in terms of productivity because people are sick, how much we are spending on the health sector because people are sick. So we have to look on the holistic approach in all aspects: economy, health, environment, agriculture together, and to see the cost benefit of these kind of approach. And definitely we will find that the sustainable approach will be more beneficial for environment, health, economy, and community as well.
That is such a wonderful way to put it because the Malaysian government, they did not just immediately introduce the population to the idea of bringing in their own bags, but rather they slowly conditioned them to do so. So not bringing a change that is so direct, but also gradually building it up, gradually building up an impact. That's wonderful. And now that this interview segment has commenced, let us move forward with questions that students from the Lincoln University of Business and Management have for you, Dr. Wesam. So, number one, what do you see as the biggest threat to environmental sustainability in the 21st century?
I think we have two main challenges. The first one is the awareness of people. The awareness of people is still like need to be developed, need to be increased, because once people are aware and they know the real dimension of the environmental challenges, the losses that we are causing to the environment, and the pain that we are creating to our health. So this is one aspect. The second is the governance issues, because once we have a proper governance system for government in terms of policy, regulation, that as will be cascaded at the different levels of industry and community, and will make the sustainability as a practice. So those are some of the challenges. Definitely, when we go in details, we'll find more challenges. Like we want to find alternative. These need to be kind of research and developed. So we need also some financial support for research and development. There is a challenge when you talk about, as I mentioned earlier, about the link between industry and academia. If you have a product, a new product in the academia, how it can be commercialized if there is no support, there is no acceptance from industry. So these are part of the challenges that is facing the transformation of our practices and the lifestyle to be more sustainable.
Okay. Our second question from the audience is, which renewable energy source do you believe has the most potential for global energy needs in the future?
I think in terms of renewable energy, it depends on the localities, it depends on the geography. Like in the Middle East, there is a great potential for solar energy, and in many other areas, even like in the Indian continent and Southeast Asia. In some other geographical locations, they have a potential from wind. So we have to have kind of a hybrid system where we need to kind of integrate all these sources in terms of whether it's from solar, wind, and this is practiced in many countries, like even in, for example, in Europe. In some cases, like in summer, they can rely on renewable from sun, and the winter will have kind of the wind, renewable energy from the wind. So you have to have a hybrid system where you can maximize and optimize all these resources. So this is depending on the locality and the geographical locations of each country and the potential in that country. So there is no kind of standard globally.
That is interesting to know that there's no global standard that's been set. And also, I would like to ask you another question from what you've just stated. How would the third world countries move forward in terms of research and development? You mentioned the cooperation between industry and academia, but when neither are present in an economy, and when those economies are the ones that are most effective, what do we do?
Yeah, in the third world countries where there is a lot of challenges ranging from economical to political, socio-economical. So there is a need for some assistance and funding from like from let's say the global players, the global economical players to assist those vulnerable communities to face these challenges. And this is in many scenarios it's done. Let me give you another example from Palestine, because it's one of the kind of sophisticated scenarios in terms of political, economical, socioeconomic as well. So there is a lot of funding through NGOs for like renewable energy, for solar energy projects to assist the schools, universities, health facilities to produce their energy demand through solar. About the gap between academia and industry, that is more challenging in the third world countries. But we have also to remember, we have to bear in mind that we don't have to reinvent the wheel. If there is a product in the market which is available and it is competitive in terms of the cost, why we have to create a competitor for that product? Why we have to invest too much money to produce something which is already in the market? So we have to invest, we have to investigate, and develop products which is not available. We don't have to compete ourselves, because if there are products in the market and it is affordable, so we have to increase the accessibility for those products. In some cases, we might need to localize these solutions, because what is viable in Malaysia might not be suitable to be utilized in Africa. So in that case, we need to invest in the localization of the solutions, in the training of people, on building the capacity of people to utilize those new technologies. So this is, again, the challenges and the gaps need to be bridged through various means. It depends on the scenario. And again, one of the most aspects for deriving and for applying sustainability, we need to strengthen collaboration and cooperation. We need also to promote the SDG number 16, which is talking about justice, peace, and harmony. Because without stability, without security, without safety, the sustainability issue won't progress well globally.
Def- um, Definitely agree with that. So thank you so much, Dr. Wesam, for entertaining our questions today and providing us such a great insight into sustainability. As we wrap up this enlightening episode, it's clear that the discourse surrounding current global sustainability challenges and the future of sustainability is not just a conversation, it's a call to action. The issues we've delved into today, from climate change to resource depletion and social inequalities, demand our attention, our innovation, and our collective effort. But remember, the future is not set in stone. The innovative solutions that we've explored and the inspiring initiatives we've discussed offer hope and a roadmap for a more sustainable world. Dear future policymakers, whether through small lifestyle changes or large scale projects, everyone has a role to play in shaping our future. As we move forward, let's keep these conversations alive, more alive than ever. Let's challenge ourselves to seek out knowledge, advocate for change, and make conscious choices that align with the values of sustainability. The path ahead might be challenging, but it's one that leads to a planet that thrives, ecosystems that flourish, and communities that prosper. Thank you for joining us today, Dr. Wesam, in this critical exploration of the current challenges in sustainability. Let's continue the dialogue as always, spread awareness, and work together towards a future where sustainability isn't just an aspiration but a reality. Until next time, stay conscious, stay engaged, and stay sustainable. If you have any questions or want to share your own experiences...
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Wesam. If you have any questions or want to share your own experiences with breaking into the sustainable field, we'd love to hear from you. Reach out to us on LUBM Middle East on Instagram, LinkedIn, and Facebook, and let's continue this conversation. Once again, thank you, Dr. Wesam, for joining us on this episode. And to you, audience, educate yourself more on the pressing problems and modern solutions to our sustainability crisis. Until next time, stay smart with Smart Talks, powered by Lincoln University of Business and Management.